the fatigue and weariness. If you're suffering from chronic dry eye, go to fortify.com and join thousands who've discovered Fortify Advanced Dry Eye Therapy, a combination of Fortify Super Omega, Fortify Focus, and Fortify Black Currant Oil GLA. Fortify Advanced Dry Eye Therapy works to address oxidation and inflammation in the eye and the entire body. This combination, once only available to patients in the doctor's office, has now become available to you. And already, countless numbers of listeners have found relief with Fortify Advanced Dry Eye Therapy. If you or someone you care about struggles with dry, itchy, exhausted eyes, order Fortify Advanced Dry Eye Therapy today at fortify.com. That's FORTIFEYE.com, or call 866-503-9746. That's 866-503-9746 and at fortify.com.
While others are hitting happy hour, you're hitting the gym. While they're hoisting mugs, you're lifting kettlebells. You owe it to yourself to get the most out of your fitness regimen before and after your workout with Fortify Fit. Fortify Fit's power-packed formula is designed to enhance muscle synthesis, strength, and endurance. All evidence-based nutrients in this proprietary formula are well documented and backed in good clinical studies. Taken before and after your workout, Fortify Fit is also hailed for what it doesn't contain. No dyes, artificial flavors, or carrageenan. With Fortify Fit, you get all you need to get the most out of your workout without needless additives and sketchy sweeteners. Order Fortify Fit today at fortify.com. That's FORTIFEYE.com, or call 866-503-9746. That's 866-503-9746. 866-503-9746. And at fortify.com.
Hi, this is Dr. Michael Lange, board-certified optometric physician and certified nutritional specialist, and the founder of the Lange Eye Institute and Fortify Vitamins. I've hosted the very popular Ask the Doctor program since 1993. I educate you on the latest advancements and natural approaches to eye disease and total body wellness. I'm Dr. Michael Lange, helping keep America fit and healthy.
The Lange Eye Institute in the Villages and the Fortify Nutrition Center on McMullen Booth Road in Clearwater. Online at fortify.com. And listen to Ask the Doctor Saturday morning at 9 on AM 860 The Answer.
Maybe it's hours a day spent in front of a computer screen or poring over documents and diagrams. Maybe as you get older, you struggle later in the day to focus on your favorite book. Whatever the reason that you find your eyes tired and that you struggle with eye fatigue, it's time to try Fortify Focus. Fortify Focus contains the powerful ingredient astaxanthin, a natural supplement discussed time and again among those in the eye care community as a powerful solution for fatigue due to eye strain and blue light exposure. Natural astaxanthin, the key ingredient in Fortify Focus, works at the mitochondrial level to support improved muscle endurance and recovery, helping to refresh your tired eyes and more fully enjoy all that you see. Order Fortify Focus today at fortify.com. That's FORTIFEYE.com. Or call 866-503-9746. 866-503-9746. 866-503-9746.
The benefits of omega-3 fish oil. Study on these on everything from heart health to emotional well-being. Get the most out of your omega-3s with Fortify's Super Omega-3 Max, the most potent omega-3 supplement in the industry. Fortify's Super Omega-3 Max features one of the highest omega-3 fish oils available, purified and concentrated in a state-of-the-art facility in Norway, allowing for more EPA and DHA combined in the same size capsule. That means you get 50% more potency in every dose without increasing the dosage. Super Omega-3 Max is perfect for people striving to keep their hearts healthy and bodies operating at peak performance. Order Omega-3 Max today at fortify.com. That's FORTIFEYE.com, or call 866-503-9746. That's 866-503-9746. 866-503-9746. And at fortify.com.
Hi, this is Dr. Michael Lange, board-certified optometric physician and certified nutritional specialist, and the founder of the Lange Eye Institute and Fortify Vitamins. I've hosted the very popular Ask the Doctor program since 1993. I educate you on the latest advancements and natural approaches to eye disease and total body wellness. I'm Dr. Michael Lange, helping keep America fit and healthy.
The Lange Eye Institute in the Villages and the Fortify Nutrition Center on McMullen Booth Road in Clearwater. Online at fortify.com. And listen to Ask the Doctor Saturday morning at 9 on AM 930 The Answer.
Ask the Doctor with Michael Lange begins in 10 seconds.
When it comes to your health, are you seeing the check engine light come on more than normal? It's time to get under the hood. It's time for Ask the Doctor with Dr. Michael Lange. Sponsored by Lange Eye Institute and Fortify Vitamins. Dr. Lange is a board-certified optometric physician and certified nutrition specialist, helping people see and feel better through proper nutrition for 25 years. The doctor is in. Call now with your questions at 877-969-8600. That's 877-969-8600. Here's your host, Dr. Michael Lange.
Okay, good morning and welcome to Ask the Doctor. I'm your host as usual, Dr. Michael Lange of the Lange Eye Institute and Fortify Vitamins, here each and every Saturday morning live to answer any and all questions you may have regarding your vision, eye care, or a nutritionally related topic. If you're new to the program, who's Dr. Lange? Board certified optometric physician, the founder of Lange Eye Care and Associates and the Lange Eye Institute, also the CEO and founder and lead formulator for Fortify Vitamins. I've been hosting Ask the Doctor since April of 1993. Word has it, it's the longest running live medical talk show in the United States right now. So for over 33 years. I tell you, time flies when you're having fun. So this is dedicated to you, the listener, the viewer. We're on the Ask the Doctor network, a multitude of radio stations throughout our great country and live video streaming all over the world. And I'm going to give you a toll-free number. If you got a question, participation is encouraged. Remember, this never replaces a medical evaluation or an eye evaluation. This is for educational purposes only. Give me a call at 877-969-8600. That is 877-969-8600. I do want to mention, I want to do a shout out to Jay Cormier from iDaptics. He was a guest on the show last week, along with Roger P. Schulman, the infamous talk jockey from the Tampa Bay area. And Jay, thanks for coming down. A lot of people learned a lot about low vision technology and the iDaptics technology. We had a lot of people come by and set up appointments to see this technology. And of course, this morning, I have no newbie to talk radio, Roger P. Schulman in the studios with me. Roger, thanks for coming on down, having breakfast with me, working out last night with me, and hanging out today at the studios.
Yeah, we had a nice bike ride last night. The weather's beautiful across the country and in the Tampa area where we live, and a great day to get outside and enjoy the birds singing and the sun shining as spring is sprung across our great nation.
It was a beautiful day, and we did half at night and half at the day. We didn't leave until about 7:30 last night.
Yeah, the sun was starting to set as we came back. It was a nice bike ride.
So we had a pretty intense, fast, almost 10-mile bike ride on the bay.
It was a quick one, yes. It was quick but nice.
And then we had a high-protein supper.
Yes, we did.
And this morning you came over and we had a lot of protein for breakfast, didn't we?
That's how I get paid here. I get fed.
All right. We're going to take some calls. We're going to talk about Omega-3 today and the truth about Omega-3. And to start things off, we do have an Omega-3 bundle special. I always try to give people good deals every now and then. So we have a 6-pack Omega-3 bundle. It's 30% off. It's on the website at fortify.com. So you can buy the Super Omega or the Super Omega-3 Max. You get 6 of them in a bundle, and it's 30% off plus free shipping. Folks, this is the best deal on re-esterified triglyceride form Omega-3 fish oil in the United States right now. rTG form is far superior to the forms you usually buy over the counter. And we're gonna dive into that in a little bit. But to
The topic today will be omega-3, the truth about omega-3, and how all omega-3 isn't created equal. But go to fortify.com. That's Fortifeye, fortify.com, and go to the bundle section. And on the bundle section, you will actually see the 6-pack of omega-3 at a dramatically discounted price. And I think we had somebody in Hammond that I lost, but the caller in Hammond can call us back and I'll take it immediately. So call back and let's go to James in the Villages. James, thanks for holding. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you, Dr. Lange?
Fantastic. And yourself?
Very good. I want to bring you up to date. I was in to visit with you a few weeks ago, and as our conversation was ending, you told me about a method I could use by using my phone. I could use a hearing way to see better. And at the same time, one of the residents where I live here at Pebble Springs was telling us about a new program, and there was videos of this blind man using an eye device that he could tell it what to do, and it would read back to him. My son and daughter-in-law were with me. We did some research. We started to come back into your office to ask what you thought of it, and that's when we were introduced to Crystal. Crystal in the process introduced us to your new idaptic system.
Idaptic.
And we made, I'm sorry?
Yeah, idaptic, right.
Idaptic, yes. So we made an appointment, came in, and she showed us the eyeglasses. I was very impressed about them, but it's quite an investment, so we wanted to think about it a little bit. But I ended up buying the glasses, and I've had them for 2 weeks now. I've had nothing but great fun. The first thing, I have not been able to read at all for the last year. I now can read very successfully, and I had more fun this past Tuesday. We had a special affair here at the center. We were all in the theater, and I've gone to the theater a few times to meetings, but things they'd put up on the screen, I couldn't read it. Well, I certainly could read it this past Tuesday. And one of the other things I did, I had a lot of fun with, people didn't have any idea what I was doing, but I'd hold my telephone up and put it on phone, and I could watch people come. I'd be looking straight forward, but I would look at people coming into the theater and people sitting behind me.
Right.
And it was a great fun. So I wanted to bring you up to date on that.
Fantastic. And that's what it's all about, being able to help people. I mean, the iDaptic is an amazing device to help people that are vision impaired. And last week we had Jay Cormier from iDaptics, the CEO of the company. We talked about it in more depth, but it's really sophisticated technology, and you'll find it does more than you really think. It really does quite a bit, and you'll learn how to use it more and more. And it's pretty amazing technology. And it is a little bit expensive, but it's hard to put a price on, returning your vision and helping to increase your independence and maintain your independence, not depending on others to read your stuff. So thanks for that testimonial. I'm glad it's helping you.
One other thing I might mention, as owning these glasses, the instructional book that comes with it is very easy to read and very informative. I've been learning a lot, and I'm having a lot of fun learning new things every day. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks for the feedback. I appreciate it, James. And you have a great day.
You do the same. Thank you, doctor.
All right. And you're listening to Ask the Doctor. If you got a question, give us a call at 877-969-8600, 877-969-8600. We're getting ready to take another call in just a second, but we got a lot of things going on around here. For everybody listening to the WRNO in New Orleans, it's the Jazz Festival. So a lot of people are at the Jazz Festival and vibing and having a great time, listening to some good music, having some great food. Just be very careful. Make sure you hydrate and take your electrolytes. I know a lot of you drinking booze and you're sweating, so that's dangerous. It can trigger atrial fibrillation, not to mention dry eye. So try to drink water, lots of water, and maybe electrolytes in between every glass of beer that you're having at the jazz festival. But there's 3 other radio stations that we're on now, Roger, and let's mention those stations. And there's something going on in each one of those towns, isn't there?
Yes, there is. 3 new radio stations, one in Pensacola, the Pensacola area. Actually, Mobile is where it is. And in Pensacola today, the station is WASG 540 and FM 1061. They've got the Pensacola Crawfish Festival. That's outside of Mobile. And the Expect to Win 5K Car Show. And that is going to be happening in Mobile. And we've got Albuquerque, New Mexico, KKIM AM 1000, big station there. The ABQ Biopark Zoo is open. You can go there, take the family and get outside, or you can explore Old Town. And in Augusta, Georgia, home of the famous golf tournament that just finished, WFAM 1050 AM and 98.9 FM. And up there, you can get outside. A beautiful day in Augusta. Sacred Heart Cultural Center Garden City Festival. That's going on this weekend. And the North Augusta Spring Fest is also happening. So lots of things to get outside and enjoy on our 3 new radio stations.
Thanks for the update. Also, I'll be this afternoon over at the Hyatt Clearwater Beach for the Suncoast Optometric Symposium. I'll be presenting information to all the doctors that are showing up at the Fortify Vitamin booth. So Tasha's over there right now. To a shout out with Tasha. Also, I want to mention all flavors of Fortify Rejuvenate are now in. Hallelujah. So the Fortify Rejuvenate has gone viral. This is a supplement that helps with skin, hair, nails, and joints. So if you notice, I'm not limping anymore. It took about 5 months of being on this, but my knees are much better. So no knee surgery for me. So it's got chocolate, cherry, vanilla, pink lemonade, and unflavored. That's called Fortify Rejuvenate. Check it out on the website at fortify.com. I'm going to give you the toll-free number to Fortify Vitamins. Then we're taking the next call. So Fortify Vitamins is 866-503-9746. That's 866-503-9746. And I think Charlene is answering the phones today. And then don't forget to go to the Fortify Nutrition Center in Clearwater. It's open until 3 today. And the Lange Nutrition Center is open until 3 today in Ocala. All right, let's go to the phones. I think Steve has been waiting patiently. Steve, good morning, my friend. How's it going in Clearwater?
Pinellas Park now. Yeah, would you do me a favor, or do the audience a favor? You know all these ads that are on for these, what do you call them? The ones that prevent, like Eylea. What's the name of that drug class?
Yeah, anti-VEGF injectable drugs for
there you
macular
go.
degeneration.
Okay, they advertise these things ad nauseum on the air. Okay, maybe you can't do this right now, but maybe next week you come on with a prepared sheet of this. Could you please explain the top 5 of these compounds and what the difference is, why there's such a tremendous difference in cost? Is there any difference in the mechanisms by which these different things work? And the most important question is, why do they advertise these to the public when the public has no ability to absorb or evaluate the information?
Yeah, that's a good question. I guess they want to stimulate them to ask for this drug in the retina specialist office, which should not sway what injection they use anyway. So
that's briefly, exactly what I mean.
Years ago, we started out with Macugen, then it went to Avastin. It was relatively inexpensive, about $150. That's a colorectal drug that they found was beneficial for wet macular degeneration. And then they branched off from $150 injection to Eylea and Lucentis. And there's many more drugs now that are, $3,000-$4,000, has similar effects. But these are FDA approved for the eye, where Avastin was FDA approved for colorectal cancer, and they're using it off label. So it's a very similar drug. What it does, it decreases inflammation in the retina. It helps stop the irregular blood vessels from actually breaking down and leaking and causing edema, swelling, and inflammation in the retina. The good news is these drugs work quite well. It wasn't all that long ago when we had a bleed in the retina, the retina specialist used to laser it, and it was terrible. I felt bad for retina specialists because the patient would come in with the bleed and see halfway decent, a little blind spot.
Yeah.
And then they'd laser it, and boom, they can't see the big E anymore. And they say, well, we have to destroy part of your retina to save your entire vision. Well, they don't do that anymore. Now they have some really good injectable drugs that work quite well. But you always have to look and determine whether or not the benefits outweigh the risks. Because with an injection in the eye, it's not without inherent risk, Steve. I mean, you can have a retinal detachment. You can have endophthalmitis, a very nasty infection. And so, the protocol, they clean the eye really good. They anesthetize the eye really good so you don't feel the needle. So they jump through a lot of hoops to make us as safe as possible. And let's face it, tens of thousands of these injections are done yearly. So it's pretty safe. And at least we have something that's effective at treating the wet form of macular degeneration. And now for geographic atrophy, they also have an injection for geographic atrophy. But the exciting area is photobiomodulation therapy. And we've talked about that briefly, where they use a series of lights, red light, yellow light, infrared light, to treat macular degeneration in the early stages when we use appropriate diet, the appropriate supplements. That's where fortified vitamins come in, and use this series of photobiomodulation, series of lights. So maybe, just maybe in the future, these patients don't develop the wet form of macular degeneration and may not need those injections. So I don't know if Big Pharma will be very happy about that, though.
Well, yeah, I just don't, like I said, I see no reason to advertise on TV. And have you ever, let me ask you this and be totally honest. Have you ever had a situation in which you wanted to give a patient one of those VEGF inhibitors, and they came in and said, hey, I saw an advertisement for this one on Fox. Have you ever changed your mind because of that?
Well, I don't do those injections, but no. And I don't think a retina specialist is going to change their mind either. So I don't know, name awareness, marketing, they have plenty of dollars. So, they need some tax write-offs, right?
Well, yeah, but it's just, I just think I'd rather see that money go into further research than to give information. It's like talking to your cat or your dog.
Sure. But Steve, the interesting thing is when they advertise a lot of these drugs, I mean, sometimes it's a self-defeating purpose. Sometimes it does more harm than good, because if you listen to any of these drugs, now they're required to tell you any and all potential side effects. So, they might have a drug for, constipation, and then all the side effects are, crazy, and possible death, amputation. So they always tell you the potential side effects, and you listen to that and you go, oh my goodness, I don't want to take that drug. And, a lot of people, the power of suggestion, as is very powerful. There's a psychological component in medicine. And so some people, they think they're going to have that problem. And I've had many patients have told me this. They take a medication, all right, and it says it's going to cause you loss of equilibrium, double vision, dizzy spells, paranoia. And they take the pill, and it's not even 18 seconds, and they start having all of those symptoms. All right. It's not even digested. It hadn't gotten in their bloodstream, because it's the power of suggestion. It's psychosomatic a lot of times. So, but they're required to go over any and all side effects. Remember, drugs aren't without inherent risks.
Well, let me give you an example of something that is highly suggestive. We had a situation up in Sterling, Illinois. That's near where Roger was born. And there was a situation which at a football game, a lot of people started getting sick during the latter part of the football game. And there was a doctor on the scene, and he tried to quickly analyze, what have you eaten? What have you eaten? What have you eaten? And everybody had eaten hot dogs. But listen to this. When they found out 3 days later, it was not the hot dogs that were making people sick, it was the mustard. And here's where the psychological aspect came into it. Even people, when they found out that they thought the hot dogs were bad, even people who had not eaten mustard on their hot dog, even though that was the source of the bacteria, still got sick. To the point of some of them getting they literally, because they thought they were going to get sick, they felt sick. And a few of them actually went to the state of vomiting. That shows you how powerful suggestion can be.
Yep.
And it's the way it goes. And one more quick question, and I promise I won't make too much more time. When you have a situation like that where you have to they used to laser an eye, and they knew they were doing damage, but it was a cost benefit choice. Isn't that very stressful to a physician to have do that, again and again and again, and have a feeling that he knows he's destroying part of their vision, but at the same time, I mean, how does he handle that stress?
That's a good question. Luckily, I've never been in that situation, so it's hard for me to explain that. And luckily, doctors aren't doing that anymore because that's antiquated, old-fashioned technology. And we're moving further and further into the future.
Okay.
We're going to be 100 years into the medical future in the next 3 to 5 years. So we got some exciting times.
Oh, we sure do. Okay, well, God bless, and thank you for everything you do for everybody.
All right, Steve. Thanks for the call.
God.
All right, you're listening to Ask the Doctor. I'm Dr. Michael Lange with my co-host, Roger P. Schulman. If you have a question regarding vision or eye care, our nutritionally related topic, give us a call at 877-969-8600. That's 877-969-8600. Also, a lot of you are on the Fit Pro. As a matter of fact, Roger, when I gave you a thimble of the Fit Pro, that's a pre-workout, post-recovery, you were bursting with energy, weren't you?
Yeah, the famous thimble. I suddenly was lifting weights that were way beyond my normal 20 pounds. And I was kind of shocked. And it was just a little thimble of that. And we've kind of used that as our guidepost since then. A thimble of whatever, and it seems to work.
Right. So the Fit Pro, as you know, has been on back order because there has been a massive shortage of whey protein. Luckily, our whey protein is in. And we were able to get some whey protein out of New Zealand, had to pay through the arm to get it. So Fit Pro has been manufactured. It's sitting now waiting to make sure it passes inspection and doesn't grow any bacteria. And so it's actually has to be sitting in a lab for about a week to make sure it doesn't, grow any type of potential pathogens. So it's quarantined. And then if that passes, boom, then we get it. And so I'm hoping in a week or so, we're going to have Fortify Fit Pro, both strawberry watermelon and pina colada. And you tried the prototypes, and I think they were pretty tasty.
They were very, very good. And all of them were excellent. The taste of these supplements and various things that are on the market now are much better than they used to be. They've really come a long way.
Right. So you see, we got a lot of questions on the internet, and also Larry in New York. We're going to take Larry and we'll talk about diabetic macular edema. I think DME somebody's asking about. But let's go to Larry first in New York. Larry, good morning. Thanks for holding.
Good morning, Doc. Thank you for taking my call and for sharing your wisdom and experience. So any thoughts on best treatment forward regarding DME? I have an optometrist that is talking about, shots and maybe steroids. And I don't live in a metropolitan area, and I'm thinking about, reaching out to maybe a research hospital.
Right.
Or, so I'd like to get your thoughts on DME and progression and how best to treat it.
Right. So how old are you and how much do you weigh?
73, and I weigh about 170. So I'm not overweight.
You're not overweight. So that's the number one thing. Not overweight. So that's good. And what's your typical blood sugar been running, fasting blood sugar in the morning?
135, 140.
All right. What about your hemoglobin A1C?
Last one, it was 6.8.
Yeah. So we have room to improve, in other words. All right. And so, Larry, the most important thing, obviously, with diabetic macular edema, all right, the most important thing is to find a good retina specialist, okay, and follow their advice. But I'm going to give you some words of wisdom that can potentially help. You got to be meticulous. Meticulous with your diet, especially the evening meal, your supper, all right, because what happens is a lot of people will have their biggest meal at supper, and who knows, spaghetti and meatballs, some French bread, a Coke, or some wine, and that's a lot of sugar, all right? So your supper should be almost more like a ketogenic type of diet, a carnivore diet, where you have protein and vegetables and not a lot of sugar. But it's kind of a catch-22 because if you're over-medicated, then your blood sugar will drop because you don't have any carbohydrates. So you have to be, pretty intelligent regarding this, and you got to have like some orange juice, apple juice, or glucose pills or something ready in case your blood sugar drops down to 40 when you're sleeping, so you don't die, basically. But so diet is very, very important. and the supper is one of the most important meals. So we got to try to get your blood sugar, Larry, as close to 100 as possible fasting in the morning, all right? And then your hemoglobin A1C, you probably want it to come down a little bit more. So obviously exercise, a little cardiovascular exercise, a little weightlifting, that's all important because that helps metabolize blood sugars and everything. But eating a diet consistent with maybe something like the Lange survival diet, if you Google Lange survival diet, I only allow the foods that don't have a lot of anti-nutrients in it and a lot of sugars in it. So Lange survival diet, try to follow that. Follow your retina specialist's advice. If you have a lot of edema, they're going to want to do some injections if they haven't already, and they'll do those injections and follow you with, OCT angiography and determine if the injections are helping cut the edema and the swelling. If it's not a lot of swelling, then they may not elect to do the injections. But, diabetes is the leading I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, they've already started with the injections, and now she's talking about steroids.
Right. So
steroid injections.
Yep. So the steroids help cut inflammation also. And I think I would follow their advice because the combination of these anti-VEGF injections as well as steroid injections sometimes are very, very effective at helping, reduce inflammation. Remember, diabetes is the leading cause of vision impairment in this country. And so, do you know, how is your vision? Is your vision still pretty adequate?
It's blurry. I can drive and stuff like that. I mean, that's not a problem. As far as reading and, reading some, I get some blur stuff. So I use some magnification, through my iPhone at times. But,
right.
It depends. Like my wife will ask me, and I said, it really depends on the day and sometimes the time of the day.
Right.
I mean, sometimes it's better than others.
Right. And
now, this Lange diet, Lange.
Lange, Lange survival diet. Just Google that. And basically only buy those foods, okay? And it will help with your blood sugar, help with inflammation, because this is an anti-inflammatory diet. And obviously you got a lot of inflammation going on in your eye. So try to eat those foods, all right? Try not to sample a lot of ice cream and pecan pie and pastas and rices. Remember, carbohydrates turn to sugar, but load up on protein and vegetables. Be careful with fruit. And remember, your breakfast and your supper are the most lenient, are the most forgiving meals, and breakfast and lunch. Supper is the most non-forgiving. So try to stick to just vegetables and protein. But sometimes when you get on this diet, you have to cut back on your blood glucose medications because you don't want to be over-medicated. Remember, over-medication is as bad as under-medication.
Hmm. Yeah, I'm on 2,000 milligrams of metformin and 10 milligrams of Farxiga.
Right. Yeah, it's not a bad idea to find a good nutritionist that can help coach you along with your doctor, endocrinologist, or internal medicine doctor who's ever treating your diabetes. But yeah, I'd follow the retina specialist's advice. Remember, if you're a retina specialist, you're pretty intelligent because first of all, you finished college, you got accepted to med school, and then you were elected to go into ophthalmology residency. So you weren't a dummy in med school. And then you got accepted to a retina fellowship. So, retina specialists are, some of the top physicians in the country.
And just two quick questions. Do you see any value in trying to connect more with a research center? And the other thing is, what's your gut reaction about this steroid injection that she's talking about?
Well, I think a research center it has its advantages because you could be in some clinical studies that, cutting edge clinical studies that may be beneficial, but by the same token, you might be the placebo. So if it's a non-placebo controlled and you're getting the true drug, it doesn't hurt. I think a second opinion is not a bad idea at a university setting, and it would give you another peace of mind. So yeah, second opinion's a good idea. And I would do it if the physician's recommending a steroid injection. I would probably follow the advice because that means you got a lot of inflammation. And remember, you want to get this inflammation down so you don't lose your vision.
All right.
All right, Larry.
All right, Doc. Look, thank you so much. I appreciate the answering my questions, and I really do appreciate this.
Good. You hang in there and keep us posted. All right.
I will.
All right.
Thanks.
Take care. All right. You're listening to Ask the Doctor. You know, Roger, diabetes is the leading cause of blindness and vision impairment in this country. Macular degeneration is the leading cause of impairment, but diabetes is the leading cause of blindness because you can go blind from this disease.
And lose limbs from that disease. And the diet is one of the main factors, doctor, I believe, in the diabetes, diet and exercise.
The diet is crucial for everybody, not just diabetics, for any and all of us. You know, food is medicine. So we need to really take control of our health by eating a proper diet. And, you know, the Lange survival diet, I've taken a combination of the paleo diet, the ketogenic diet, the carnivore diet, the hallelujah diet, the plant paradox diet, and combined it all into one. And so we're taking out the oxalates that cause kidney stones, the lectins and the phytic acid that disrupt the microbiome in the gut and block absorption of nutrients, the FODMAPs that cause inflammatory processes in the gut. You know, so we've taken out all the bad things and left all the good. That's why you can only eat one pea and a half a cashew.
I had that this morning. It was delicious. If I'm sitting in Indianapolis, Indiana right now listening, how can I get more information on the Lange survival diet?
Well, you can go to any of our websites. If you go to the langeyecare.com, drmichaellang.com, or fortify.com, at the top of the page, there's a section there you can click on. It's Lange Wellness and Longevity Plan. And that has the Lange survival diet in it. So it's called Lange Longevity and Wellness Plan. It's at the top of all of our websites. You can print that out. It talks about the Lange survival diet. It talks about exercise. It talks about sleep. It talks about hydration. It talks about supplements. You know, it's years and years of experience. My 35 years of experience in this arena, I've incorporated it all into an easy to follow wellness plan.
Right. And this time of year, hydration is important. We're getting outside more. The weather is improving all around the country. It's getting hotter. People are going out on the golf course, some for the first time this time of year. And you can't forget about drinking fluids.
Plenty
Not
of fluids.
alcohol.
That's right.
Fluids without alcohol.
Not the booze. A lot of people in the villages are out on the golf course in the summer and they develop atrial fibrillation. They go to the emergency room because they were drinking beers or whiskey sours, whatever they're drinking, and not drinking much water, and they become dehydrated. I published an article not too long ago on dry eye and atrial fibrillation, how they go hand in hand, and the root cause is dehydration and electrolyte imbalance. So really, all you naturalists out there that want something that's very natural, you can make up a concoction before you play tennis or pickleball or go for a bike ride or, you know, the golf course, coconut water, all right, and put a little pink Himalayan sea salt in it. So you're getting the sodium chloride, you're getting the magnesium, and you're getting the potassium, and it's all natural. And you're getting a little sugar, too, for energy. You need some carbohydrates, you know, for energy. So coconut water with a little pink Himalayan sea salt. I did that when I competed in the whoop band competition. That was a few years back, and I won the entire competition. So a little toot for me for that. But I was doing coconut water, and I was doing the Fortify Fit Pro, you know, when I was biking and working out and burning calories. But, you know, things like Gatorade and Pedialyte and those electrolytes and those, you know, a liquid IV and things that are powdered, those are all pretty good. But be careful and stay away from anything with the artificial sweeteners and the dyes in it. So a lot of them have sucralose in it, aspartame, and a lot of dyes. So learn to read labels and do not consume those. All right, we got a caller. We're going to go to the next phone call of the morning. Let's go to, I think, Kathy in Sarasota. Kathy, good morning. Thanks for holding.
Hi, good morning. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Perfect. Okay, so I'm 62 years old. I've never had eye problems. I wear contacts, and I was using those eye drops, and forgive me, I can't remember the name of them. They're some popular new brand to make your eyes white. Anyways, I used them for 2 years, and all of a sudden my eyes are watering constantly. I stopped using the drops.
Right. So, yeah, you're talking about a drop that it's a very weak preparation of alpha-gan or bromomidine, and it does get the redness out of your eye. And, you know, I don't like these drops that get the redness out of the eye because, you know, things like Visine and this drop that you just mentioned all have potentials of actually blocking the cause of your red irritated eye. So we want to know what the underlying etiology is. We don't just want to mask the problem. And a lot of times a female right at 60 is going to be dry eye. So what I would recommend, instead of using anything that gets the red out and clears the eye up, I would go with something like Optase Tears or Oasis Tears. You can get those both on the fortify.com website. You can probably get Optase over the counter, but Oasis you can only get through doctor's offices. But these have hyaluronic acid in them. That's a natural anti-inflammatory, and it helps really kind of soothe the eye. It lasts longer than the typical over-the-counter artificial tears. So I would try that first. You know, a good lubricating eye drop like Optase or Oasis. Obviously, see your local eye doctor, whether it's your optometrist or ophthalmologist, and find out what the underlying etiology is. A lot of things can cause red eyes. Blepharitis, something that a lot of people have are these little mites called Demodex, and it's very easily curable and treatable, but that can cause red, irritated eyes. Dry eye is one of the biggest culprits of that. Something called meibomian gland dysfunction, where the glands get clogged and you get a secondary dry eye. You know, we treat all of that at the Lange Eye Institute, but your local eye doctor should be able to handle that as well. But try to find out the underlying etiology.
Why are my eyes tearing? Well, you can't answer that question, but what could be the cause of my eyes tearing constantly, like having to wipe them with a Kleenex for lack of anything better to do so I can see? They actually look like I'm crying.
Right. So as long as it's not social crying, all right, like Dr. Roger just said, unhappiness, chances are, believe it or not, it's going to sound kind of conflicting, but dry eye. And you're saying, Dr. Lang, you're not listening because you said my eyes are tearing, so they're not dry. But it's one of the first signs of a dry eye is an eye that actually tears. And the reason for this is you're losing the lubricating properties, the oily properties of your eye as you mature. And 62 is very young these days. So you're starting to lose the oils and your body's trying to compensate by crying more of the watery layer. And this actually creates more of a problem because it dries your eyes out even more. And then you start tearing more to try to compensate for it. So when you're putting that Oasis or Optase in your eye, that's kind of like putting the oils back in, using the Mobile One in your car, you know, putting oil in the motor instead of water in the motor. That will help decrease the tearing. That's probably the cause. There's a lot of other things like blocked ducts, ocular allergies that can cause tearing. But the simplest thing is to try what we said. Maybe do a hot compress once or twice a day. Clean your eyelashes. Think about taking a good omega-3 fish oil once or twice a day, like Fortify Super Omega. And then if it's dry eye relatively early, the combination of those four things are going to knock it out of the ballpark, and you're not going to have any symptoms. And you could certainly try that before you see your eye doctor. So heat the lids, clean the lids, nutrify the glands with a good omega-3, and then lubricate with a good lubricant.
What was the omega-3 that you mentioned?
Fortify, of course, I'm a little biased because I developed it. Fortify Super Omega. You don't need the Super Omega Max, but Fortify Super Omega. And you can go to fortify.com and see that. And that's the one we're running that 6-pack special on right now, where you buy 6 of them and you're getting 30% off plus free shipping. So it brings it down really low. And it's the cheapest price on this form of omega-3 in the country.
Okay. Thank you very much. I appreciate your feedback.
All right, Kathy. Have a good day. All right. What you got there, big guy?
Well, if you want to live longer, get a dog. Owning a dog can help you live longer, particularly by reducing the risk of cardiovascular disease and lowering mortality rates. Owners have a 24% lower risk of death from all causes and a 31% lower risk of cardiovascular death, likely due to the increased exercise and reduced stress.
From a dog, not a cat.
No, not a cat. Unless it's a 400-pound lion that you can walk around on a leash, and then that's kind of dangerous.
Now, what about a good wife? Might make you die early, huh? It's a bad wife.
A bad wife
good
will
wife.
make you die early, but a good dog will reduce your blood pressure, mental health improvements, because they have unconditional love for you, not like the bad wife. And yeah, it's amazing. Some new research just came out on that.
There's a show I've been watching with my wife called The Good Wife on television. It's on like Paramount. It's all about attorneys, The Good Wife.
Interesting.
It's a pretty good show. All right. So another thing that could maybe keep you above ground a little longer is obviously eating well, taking the right supplements, losing weight. We talk about that all the time, Roger. I always say the number one supplement people should take is an omega-3 fish oil, and the number one thing you can do to increase longevity is get down to your ideal body weight. So I want to talk about a huge hit over the last few months, well, over the last month, because it just came out. A huge hit has been our Fortify Fit meal, and you've consumed it. The Fortify Fit meal is the first meal replacement doctor developed that's fully transparent, that doesn't have any of the ingredients, the protein, the fruits, the vegetables coming out of China. So fully transparent. We put just about anything and everything in it, and we use it as a meal replacement to help regulate people's metabolism, their blood sugar, help them lose weight fairly easily. I've got people that are losing weight, leaps and bounds, losing lots of weight. Remember, I lost 16 pounds in 8 days, all in my gut, by using the Fortify Fit meal as a meal replacement. But the problem with people that lose weight very rapidly, especially people on these GLP-1 receptor drugs, they lose weight very rapidly. And what else are they losing?
Muscle. They're losing their actual muscle along with the fat.
Right. And muscle's heavy, so they lose weight, they think very quickly, but they're getting skinny. I call it skinny fat. So now you used to be fat and fluffy looking and you didn't have many wrinkles. Now you're skinny and you got wrinkles all over your body and your arms just look atrocious. Your legs look atrocious. So what did we do? We thought about this for a long time. We worked on it for years and years. And now we have the Fortify Fit Transformation Bundle. So what it has the Fortify Fit meal, which is the meal replacement. And then we're adding the creatine, the Fortify creatine, which is German creatine, Creapure creatine, MyHEB, and vitamin D. Those combinations help build muscle and strength and endurance, and also help your cognitive ability. That's what was in that thimble in the Fit Pro that you took and had so much energy in the gym. But then we also add the Rejuvenate. So you're getting the Fortify Fit meal, you're getting the Fortify creatine, H&B, vitamin D, and you're getting the Rejuvenate all in a bundle. And the Rejuvenate has some ingredients that have been clinically studied and verified that prove that it helps to decrease, crepey skin, saggy skin, wrinkles, helps improve hair, nail, and joint. So the combination of all these three is kind of the triple whammy of anti-aging, and it works. It really does. So it's called Fortify Fit Transformation Bundle. It's been a big hit. We just released it last week, and a lot of you have purchased it and have already given me a lot of testimonials. So if you really want to try to help lose that weight, increase your vigor, increase your strength, and minimize these age-related changes, this can help. Because remember, God made a pretty good body, Roger, as long as we give it the right fuel. I'd like to think that we're getting closer and closer to the right fuel with the Fortify vitamins, and we're constantly evolving. We're going to make this better and better every year. So check it out at fortify.com, the Fortify Fit Transformation Bundle. All right. Don't forget the Super Omega-3 and the Omega Max 6-pack bundle. So that's the Omega-3. It's 30% off and it's free shipping. And it's under the bundle section on fortify.com. Fortify is Fortifeye. Fortify.com, kind of a play on words since I'm an eye doctor. The Super Omega and Super Omega Max 6-pack bundle. It's the best deal we've ever run on Omega-3. But as you know, we've got like a lot of Omega-3 in our warehouse right now.
Yeah, the factory delivered you a little surprise, didn't they?
Yes. I mean, we've got, like 40,000 bottles.
40,000 bottles. And
so
half of them were unexpected, apparently.
Right. So we're running some really great deals to help move a little of that. And all of our listeners, our patients, our customers get an added benefit. So they save a lot of money.
And the benefits of omega-3, the fish oil supplements for men, are quite radically good. A new study, 2024 UCLA study, shows that omega-3 supplements or fish consumption slow prostate cancer growth in men and strangles the tumor of blood to inhibit tumor growth. That's taking omega-3. This is not one of those drugs that you see on television with all the side effects. This is the good stuff, the omega-3 fish oil supplements. Also, AFib benefits. December 2025, Journal of the American Heart Association. Individuals with higher circulating omega-3 levels have significantly lower risk of developing arterial fibrillation. And this is just a tremendous study, new study, December of 2025, just a few months ago, showing more benefits for people with higher circulating levels of omega-3 levels, significantly lower risk of developing AFib. And that is a radically good thing.
Right. So think about it. We don't want AFib. We don't want prostate problems. So eating, very healthy fish like wild Alaskan salmon and sardines, or taking a good omega-3 fish oil. And that's the big problem. There's a lot of garbage out there.
Oh, yeah. I've had people tell me, oh, I took that from the drugstore, didn't do me any good, made me belch, and had no effect whatsoever. Well, that's because it was terrible. It might have been krill oil. It might have been something that is not the good oil that you have in Fortify that I've had very good luck with over the past 16 years.
Right. And most omega-3, remember, omega-3 is an essential nutrient your body needs. It cannot produce omega-3. That means you got to get it from your diet, okay? Ideally from wild caught fish, especially salmon, wild Alaskan salmon and sardines. But there's a big catch. Not all fish are created equal. Some can carry unwanted toxins like mercury, PCPs, and the same concerns apply with, over-the-counter fish oil supplements on the market. In fact, a large percentage of the omega-3 supplements are an inferior form called ethyl ester, or the EE form. That means it has ethanol attached to the backbone, okay? And that means it has to pass through your liver every day to cleave the ethanol off to replace a triglyceride backbone so it can actually absorb. This decreases its bioavailability, makes it go rancid and potentially toxic. And you can find out if yours is the bad fish oil by actually squeezing the contents into a styrofoam cup. It will rot a hole through that cup in a couple of minutes. The good stuff will not rot a hole through the cup, and that's the ethanol. So the gold standard for omega-3 fish oil is an rTG or TG form. That stands for re-esterified triglyceride form. It's much closer to what you find in nature. It's more readily absorbed by your body. And this is why we developed and why we're involved in research and developing ultra pure options in the omega-3 industry. That's why we have the Fortify Super Omega. That's if you're under 200 pounds, Fortify Super Omega-3 Max. If you're over 200 pounds, because when it comes to your health, quality really, truly matters. It doesn't, Roger?
It certainly does. And I will give my personal testimony. I had a shoulder injury from a military incident, and having large dogs, I've had large dogs that would tug on my right arm, pulling and playing and that sort of thing. And it kind of gave me some shoulder pain. And I was having steroid injections every 6 months and was thinking maybe I'll have to have surgery one of these days. I started taking the omega-3 supplements when I first met you, I guess. They came out about that time.
Right.
About 16 years ago?
Right. Yeah.
And I've pretty much forgotten any of the pain. It was pretty excruciating pain at one point, but it has just gone away.
And you work out a lot with me. You're strong. People don't realize you passed the lifeguard courses, so you could be a certified lifeguard hanging with these younger people, and that's a very accomplished feat.
Well, I was the oldest person that the instructor had ever taught, which was a little embarrassing. I had all these kids around, and I was this ancient specimen, but I actually passed the course. I was the oldest person ever to pass it that I know of. And it was a pretty rigorous course. But
so I see somebody having a question on my Instagram asking, is plant-based omega-3 good for my husband? Just question mark. And I would say, no, it is not good for your husband. So plant-based omega-3, things like ALA, alpha-linoleic acid, that's flaxseed oil, chia oil, perilla oil. First of all, a male cannot convert ALA to EPA and DHA. So no, it's a very poor source of omega-3. A woman of childbearing age can benefit from plant-based omega-3, but women not of childbearing age and men cannot. So it's pretty much useless. Victoras Kovinkas, a good friend of mine who's the father of the raw food movement, who passed away now in his ripe old age, used to think that his omega-3 was going to be very high because he said he eats all these plants. We did an omega index on him, and his omega index was only 1. So he actually started taking our super omega. It needs to be above 8 to get the heart health benefits. And after 2 weeks of just 2 a day, he would bite into it, squirt in his mouth, and he would discard the gelatin. His omega index went over 9%. So you need to have a good marine source omega-3 if you want to reap the benefits of it.
And a lot of people in various parts of the country away from the coasts don't get much omega-3 and they don't get much iodine. I was talking to Steve the Genius. There's a goiter belt, he told me, in the middle of the country, Indianapolis, the center part of the Midwest, where people don't get much coastal fish and they have low iodine levels and low omega-3 levels, and they need to take a supplement because they don't have the good fish there.
Right. So eat fish. We got 30 seconds. Eat fish or take a good supplement like Fortify Super Omega, Fortify Super Omega-3 Max. Remember, check out our 6-pack special under the bundle section at fortify.com. There's so much more to talk about omega-3 that we didn't get to. So we'll have an encore presentation maybe next week or the following week. With that, thanks for being a guest, Roger.
Always fun.
And we're out of here. God bless you. God bless America. I'm Dr. Michael Lange, helping keep America fit and healthy.